Welcome back to Golf Extra. Of all of the heroes and villains of the ongoing LIV-PGA merger drama, PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan is likely the one who has been discussed most. From being a staunch, vocal opponent of LIV in the last couple of years to being vilified by players for his hypocrisy following his championing of the agreement with LIV and its PIF backing, he's run a gauntlet of public opinion in a short amount of time. After all that, it might seem like Monahan should take a step away from the PGA Tour. Instead, he is planning on coming back to the tour in its new form, but under siege. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Now let's get right into the details of Jay Monahan's current position on the PGA Tour. Given his tenacious defense of the morality of the PGA Tour and the players who stayed loyal to it throughout the LIV drama of the last few years, it's no surprise that players and fans felt somewhat betrayed when PGA Commissioner Jay Monahan touted a framework agreement with LIV Golf to merge the two competing entities back in early June. Not only that, but hardly any players were even aware that an agreement was a possibility, and none knew the degree to which negotiations had progressed. After the announcement of the merger, Monahan immediately sprang to his own defense by saying, "I think when you get into conversations like this merger, there needs to be confidentiality. I've spent my entire tenure here listening to our players. Over the past couple of years, I'm so proud of the way they have rallied behind the tour and this organization. Every single conversation I had that preceded our conversations with the PIF was really driven by those conversations and ultimately trying to do the best thing for our tour and our sport. But if you start opening this up and you are asking opinions and sharing where this is going, ultimately it is going to be very difficult to get to the result we have gotten to." Monahan continued by saying, "I am somebody who always wants to be transparent and always wants to communicate exactly where we are. But in this situation, it's important I worked alongside our board and pursued what we thought was best for the PGA Tour and maintained that confidentiality. Because again, if it had not been done that way, I am not certain we would have gotten to this result." His explanation makes some sense. After all, mergers are a delicate business, especially when there are many billions of dollars on the line. However, players responding immediately after the news broke still weren't happy about how the deal was made. British pro golfer Eddie Pepperell, who mainly plays on the European Tour, tweeted, "This agreement is positive for professional golf, but a fine line will need to be traversed over the next 6 months for a good deal to be done that most are happy with. Jay Monahan has to answer some questions to his players." He added in a second tweet, "I'm not surprised there are some angry players in the US right now who remained loyal to the PGA. His leadership throughout all of this has been poor." Those are some harsh words, and Pepperell isn't the only one who was unhappy. Dylan Wu, an American golfer who plays on the PGA Tour, had scathing remarks on Twitter for Monahan, tweeting, "Tell me why PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan basically got a promotion to CEO of all golf in the world by going back on everything he said the past 2 years. The hypocrisy. Wish golf worked like that. I guess money always wins. Yikes. I don't know about you, but if somebody said that about my job performance, I might start updating my resume." Still, Monahan has remained steadfast in his belief that the agreement was the right move for the PGA Tour, and that players will eventually come around to liking the deal. After all, the entire goal of the move is to make more money, both for the tour and its leadership, as well as the players who call it home. In comments the day after the merge, Monahan said, "There is no question that yesterday was a setback in trust. I've had setbacks before. In terms of rebuilding trust, it starts with conversations that we had through the night last night and being here in the morning and talking to players and explaining to them this deal and how it is a great outcome for every PGA Tour member and the game." He added, "I do not expect everybody to understand it right off the bat. I think this will take some time. But as you look out over the horizon, I am entirely confident when I talk to our players that this is where we are going to take them. That is essentially where we are right now. We will continue to have those transparent conversations now that we are in a position where we have identified what the framework is and where we are going to go." What Monahan might be missing in all of this is that PGA Tour players are smart. They play a mentally and technically demanding game and are forced to make difficult decisions as part of their professional responsibilities. So, when players call Monahan a hypocrite for his positions, he needs to take it at face value. Not only because the players are largely what makes the PGA Tour what it is, but also because they are a collection of knowledgeable people who have been closely monitoring the situation. To this point, Monahan responded, I recognize everything that I've said in the past in my prior positions. I recognize that people are going to call me a hypocrite. Anytime I said anything, I said it with the information that I had at the moment, and I said it based on someone that's trying to compete for the PGA Tour and our players. I accept those criticisms, but circumstances do change. I think that in looking at the big picture and looking at it this way, that's what got us to this point. You've probably noticed from this video that Monahan has had to answer a wide variety of questions defending both his actions and the actions of the PGA Tour. We've shown this in part to show the amount of stress that Monahan has been under. Not a surprise given his title as the lead executive of the PGA Tour, but also no doubt a strain on him mentally as well as physically. As such, the announcement that Monahan needed to take a step back from tour activities only a couple of weeks after the announcement of the framework agreement with LIV to attend to a medical situation wasn't necessarily shocking. The whole golf world, no matter their opinion on Monahan's actions as the head of the PGA Tour, wished him well in his recovery. But it raised the question of whether or not Monahan would forge on his role as the head of the PGA Tour in the future, given the additional stress being placed on his health. To that point, Monahan responded in a statement back on July 7th by saying, "Thank you for your support and leadership these last few weeks. With the support of my family and thanks to world-class medical care, my health has improved dramatically. I am eager to engage with each of you, as well as our players, partners, fans, and our PGA Tour family to address any questions and protect the game we treasure." The news wasn't necessarily met with cheers from some of the biggest names on the PGA Tour, who may have been expecting that the medical news opened up an opportunity for new leadership in this tumultuous time of golf. Asked if there were trust issues between the players and their commissioner, star golfer Jordan Spieth responded quite a bit, just based on conversations I've had with players, and I think he realizes that. I'm sure he's preparing for a plan to try and build it back. Xander Schauffele also chimed in with a statement that sums up how many golfers feel about Monahan at this point, saying, "We got a memo that I'll be back on the 17th. You want to call it one of the rockier times on tour? The guy was supposed to be there for us, wasn't. Obviously, he had some health issues. I'm glad that he said he's feeling much better, but yeah, I'd say he has a lot of tough questions to answer in his return, and yeah, I don't trust people easily. He had my trust, and he has a lot less of it now. So I don't stand alone when I say that. Yeah, he'll just have to answer our questions when he comes back." So now that Monahan is back, two questions stick out. Will the deal with LIV go to fruition and a full merger? And if so, will Monahan be around to see it as PGA commissioner? So what do you think about Jay Monahan? Do you think that he should resign? Be sure to leave us a comment with what you think down below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you can watch our latest content updates as soon as they drop. We'll catch you in the next one. Have a great day.